What's going on, guys? Sean here with Legacy Retics. Today's not going to be a retic video. It's actually going to be a corn snake video. And I just saw a couple comments in one of the groups from some new hobbyists, and they had some questions on corn snakes. One of them was, how do I know when a corn snake is old enough to buy? Another one was, how big should I expect my corn snake to get? And the third one was, shoot, I should have wrote these down. What size enclosures will my snakes need? So we're going to cover those three. I'm going to make this quick and easy and short. We're going to start out with, believe it or not, an almost 2-year-old corn snake. He's kind of a slow grower. I was kind of worried about him there for a minute because he just didn't seem like he was growing. So, we'll cover the first question, which was, let me sit this down here, grab this snake. The first question was, how old should my snake be before I purchase it? Here, let's just go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, there's really no good answer to that. It's not so much the age thing. There is a typical age that when they will be ready. I'd say you give them 3-4 months, maybe not even that much. But most reputable breeders are going to want, personally, I want to see 6 to 8 feedings before I would feel comfortable letting a snake go. Consistent feedings, wanting to take a meal every time I offer for 6 feedings. So you can expect, your snake's probably going to be, probably 2 months at the minimum. They're not going to eat there for, 2 weeks or so, especially these corn snakes. They're itty bitty. Like I said, this guy's almost 2 years old. He's kind of a slow grower. We will show you the 6-year-old here in a minute. But yeah, he's really not that long. Okay. So there's really no age for when a snake's ready to sell. It's more, when are they eating and thriving? That's when they're ready to go. The next question was, how big can I expect a corn snake to get? And that one's kind of, it ranges. Like this guy, he's obviously not full grown. He is a sub-adult still. I cannot believe he's this small. Let me tell you what, he eats every 7 days. I still feed him every 7 days. And this is, he's healthy as can be. He's just not growing quick. Some grow quick, others don't. We'll put him up, since we're talking about the size you can expect. We will grab the adult really quick. This, he is 5 or 6 years old. He is about 5 foot. I don't know his weight. This is a pretty typical size right here. Somewhere between 4 to 6 foot. They're not very thick, as you can see. I've got pretty big hands. But he's about, two of my thumbs. Sorry, you're getting all freaked out. These are great starter snakes. This is the way to go if you're just getting into snakes, just getting into reptiles. You want to start out with snakes. This is the way to go. This guy's a little flighty. He likes to run around quite a bit, so we just got to let him do his thing. And then as for enclosures, I will show you real quick what I run for my corn snakes. And I only have 2 corn snakes right now. So, like I said, he's about 5 foot. Let's get him back in here. Nope. He's going to try to escape. That's what he's going to try to do. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to flip you around here. His light is still not hung. These are 40-gallon breeders. This is the Emil. The glass needs cleaned. This is my Lemon, the adult. You can start out smaller if you want. And with some snakes, it is better to start out slower or smaller. I'm sorry, I didn't even think to unplug the bubbles in the turtle tank. You probably heard that the whole time. I'm sorry. Lost my train of thought. What was I even saying? Smaller enclosures are sometimes better for these baby snakes because it doesn't stress them out as much. You put them in a 40-gallon when they're, 12 inches long and smaller than your pinky around, it might stress them out a little bit. They're going to burrow. You're not going to be able to find them in a big enclosure. Starting them out in something smaller is typically better, and let them, live in it for 6 months to a year, depending on their size. And then move them up. You can move them up to their 40-gallon at that point, which will be their final home. In 2 years, you can typically expect to be getting pretty close to an adult size, closer to what my adult is, compared to how small my going on 2-year-old corn snake is. Like I said, he's a slow grower. He never refuses a meal, but he just doesn't pack on the weight. So I normally double up his feedings, and he has been growing a little quicker, but still not as quick as, any other corn snake I've owned. He is the slowest growing corn snake I've ever owned. The adult, you could really expect to be somewhere around that size in 2 to 3 years. And he does just fine in this 40-gallon breeder. And I've grown him before. He's going to burrow already. He has plenty of space. That is plenty for him. The 40-gallon breeders are about 3 foot long. I don't know, 18 inches deep or something like that. So that's a pretty good size for any corn snake. It's really not going to outgrow it. There are some pretty big corn snakes out there, but that should work. You can always do a Sterilite tub setup if you're trying to be cheap and just get started before you don't want to buy a 20-gallon tank. So you go ahead and you buy a Sterilite container, keep your snake in that for 6 months to a year, then move up to your 40-gallon breeder. That'll work just fine. As of husbandry, super easy. My snakes do have heat under them. I set the thermostat to 90 degrees. My probe is at the bottom of the substrate, so that's on the glass temp. That way I just know no matter, even if they get all the way down up against it, they're not going to get burnt. And then I provide lighting. Not so much a heat lamp or anything, just lighting. I like to give them a good day cycle and a night cycle. But really, that's about it. You can pick a bark substrate if you want, or you can do an ABG like I do. You can do a sterile enclosure if you want. There's so many things you can do with corn snakes. But as of for how old do they need to be when I buy them, you just want to make sure they're feeding good, they're nice and healthy. For how big they get, 5 to 6 foot, the pretty typical maximum. So anywhere from 4 to 6 foot is what you can expect. They don't get much bigger than that around, so you don't have a massive snake. And then as for enclosures, a 40-gallon breeder will do it for you. You can get it at all your pet stores. Super, super common. Provide them water, provide a hot and cold side, plenty of hides, and they will be happy. You'll have a healthy snake for 20 plus years, and you'll get to enjoy it year after year. So that's really it. That's just a couple things I wanted to cover. If you're trying to get into a corn snake, like a couple people in some of the corn snake groups I'm in, hopefully this video helps you guys out. If there's anything I didn't cover that you might have just a few more questions, throw a comment down there and I will get to them as quick as possible. Until next time, guys, have a good weekend.